I just want you to know that like I'm not really loving the way my hair is laying right now, so it's gonna shift around a lot in this video. Jesus fucking Christ. Just sobbing like, ugh. Well, help, what, get used to it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited because today I'm going to talk to you about a fitness wearable that I've had a really complicated relationship with, but I actually think is really, really great. I'm going to talk to you about the Whoop. Just so you know, this is not sponsored whatsoever. They don't know that I exist. We should probably keep it that way. I mean, the fewer people that know I'm talking about them, the better. Nothing in this video is sponsored whatsoever. The only thing I might get is that if you click on the link below and you set up your membership and you get a free month, I think I get a free month too. I also can't make any money on any affiliate links, whether you set this up. So this is all just my own opinion, my own experience, and hopefully that's helpful for you as you think about what might be useful in your own health and wellness journey. I'm going to tell you all about what it is, how it works, and then I'll talk to you about how much it costs and all your different options. So let's get into it. As always, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. You don't have to, but you are. And that is incredible. As always, I really appreciate when you like the videos, when you subscribe to the channel. It really, really helps both my self-esteem and the way that these videos perform, which allows me to continue making like just super, super high quality, valuable content for you guys. What most people seem to be interested in right now is all the things I'm doing for health and wellness. So I really see my health and wellness journey having two parts. The first part starting in my early 30s, right around my 31st birthday, I started working out regularly. I went from being a person who worked out 0 times a week. This is none. What's less than none? I did used to work out in my early mid-20s, but I would also not work out very much even then because I didn't want to mess up my hair. I sweat profusely. Like I'm a huge face and back of the neck sweater. Those of you who have somehow managed to like control your neural pathways such that you only sweat like on your arms and your back, you are so fucking lucky. Your makeup, your hair, you look like a normal person after you've done something extraneous. I don't. It's a horror show. I don't even have to work out to get sweaty. Like I could just be standing outside on a hot day and within 35 seconds, I am officially dripping, makeup's melting off my face, looking like I'm sobbing Lauren Conrad style, single tear trailing down my face. When I started working out again, pretty much since then, I've worked out regularly. We're talking minimum 3 times a week, often 4 times a week or more, with the exception of like 2-3 months around right when I gave birth. And then obviously the few months after about a month and a half after, where you can't work out right away. It's been now like 7 years, which is kind of crazy because I was the girl who was always like, absolutely not. Fuck working out. I hate running. I still hate running, by the way. Like I was always like, I don't care if I'm healthy. I just want to be skinny. And I was neither of those things. So that's part 1, was like finding fitness. And the real key for me with finding fitness is what I think is the key for everyone, which is finding something that you like. If you don't like to run,
bitch, don't run.
Run to a sale. Run for your lives. Don't run just to work out because it's something you've heard you can do. There's so many options for fitness. And now I'm really big into weight training. I want more metabolic tissue on my body. I know that weight training is going to get me there. It's also the part of the physique and the look of that physique that I like, that I'm striving for. If you're into like yoga or you enjoy swimming or whatever the fuck, you do you. Just find something you want to do 3 to 4 or more times a week is kind of like my rule of thumb. Then the second part of my health and wellness journey was really kicked off by having a kid. I believe that pregnancy is just a slow and rude death of the host body. Yes, that's right. I called it a host body. Your body
becomes a host for a parasite. Like your body's
I'm losing followers as we speak. I don't want to check my DMs later, but I will. The idea that my body was no longer mine, that things and processes and systems within my body that I had never had issues with before were being, hijacked so that my kid, who I love dearly, by the way, was just a total mind fuck for me. It wasn't as though I was experiencing like some kind of horrible conditions during pregnancy. No. That is just how pregnancy works, okay? It's terrible. It's awful. No one should have to go through it. Even if you want it really bad, it is totally fine and normal for you to be like, this fucking sucks and I can't wait for it to be over. Next, I had a rough postpartum journey. The primary reason is obviously if your body has just been hijacked for 40 weeks and all your systems and your hormones and all that shit's out of whack to support your baby in utero, shit's got to return to normal afterward. And that process wreaks havoc on your body. Your hormone levels just plummet. You're recovering from a metaphorical car wreck to your body with almost no sleep. Until Goldie, my daughter, turned 6 months old, I did not sleep for like more than 4 hours at most at a time. And even still, I didn't get more than a collective 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night. And that was never continuous. Not having the sleep that I needed in order to recover the horrific thing that happened to me, and also dealing with a very large scale move. We moved from Houston, Texas to Charlottesville, Virginia. And we did that with a 3-month-old. We were not even able to move directly from our house in Texas to the house here in Virginia, the house here that we were building this house. And so we sold our house like 2 months before this house was ready. So we had to find places. Like, it was a shit show. Imagine all the other stuff that you're dealing with just like out of the box. Like, you have no other issues in your life. You're just dealing with recovering from pregnancy. That shit's hard enough, but you layer any other big life milestone or challenge on it. And I mean, it is a recipe for disaster. I really let myself go. And I don't mean that simply from a weight perspective, but I just mean it in like all my good practices. It was like early August. Our pediatrician said she doesn't need to feed anymore in the night. And she wasn't. Like, she would just wake up and cry and then she would refuse a bottle. And I was like, what the fuck? Why are we here? What is this? Like, you're the worst wing woman ever. All you do is cry. You know the type. It took me 2 more months of getting like regular sleep through the night in order to feel like I had started to recover. And I'm only now like, damn, I sleep good. It's been almost a year since she started. Like, it takes a really long time. It's awful. It's horrific. And it is the number one reason I will never have another child. Once I started actually feeling like myself again, I decided I was going to work on losing all this extra weight because I did gain quite a bit of weight. And most of that weight happened after I had my kid for all the reasons that I just described. It was really rough. It was like, God, how did I let this happen? And I have a lot of work to do. Since then, I've done so many things. I've done everything from, tracking all of my food, making sure I'm doing good workouts every single week, multiple times a week. Not giving up. Consistency has been my number one thing. When it gets hard, when I feel like, what's the point? Just making sure I stick with it. I started seeing a functional medicine doctor at the beginning of this year, which really has expanded my mind. I've been listening to podcasts by people from like Dr. Huberman, taking my ideas around health and wellness to the next level, beyond just like eat less, but rather like, how do I actually optimize my health so that I can live a long life, but more importantly, a healthy life. My focus around health and wellness has expanded from merely being about weight loss, which it still is, but also a greater picture of my overall health. Which brings me to today's video topic. Only took 20 minutes? If you follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed in the last month, I've started wearing this. I'm talking about this little guy here. This device is a Whoop. I actually started wearing a Whoop in, I think, 2019. Started hearing a lot about it from the CrossFit community. Weird fun fact about me that you may not be able to guess by looking at me. I don't know how to ride a bike. And also, I'm a huge CrossFit fan. I'm so fucking amazed by the people who do CrossFit as professional athletes. Like the skills, the endurance, the mental fortitude. It's just like, it's fucking insane. So we started hearing about this thing called a Whoop. All these athletes were wearing it. And so I looked into it, and it's a health tracker. It's a wearable health tracker device, not unlike a Fitbit or an Oura Ring or an Apple Watch. I'll talk a little bit about how it's different and why I prefer it. Unlike a Fitbit or even an Apple Watch, it's not only tracking like your steps or your physical activity. Those are, interesting stats to have, and it's important to a degree, but it doesn't actually give you a really good overall idea of your health. On the other hand, you have another device that you might be familiar with called the Oura Ring. Kyle actually had one of those before he ever had the Whoop. At the time he started wearing it, which I think would have been like 2017, it was a hideous ring. Now they actually did a collab with Gucci. Thank God, they're fucking rising up, There's this hideous, like, gunmetal, weird, oddly shaped ring, and you wear it, and it mostly was tracking your sleep. The Whoop is doing all of that and then some. You wear this all the time. Since they've gotten more popular, they've started to do more designy aesthetic looks, and so I am wearing the rose gold version with the black strap. They make it in white, and I did have the white strap before I had Goldie, and I'm going to talk to you about why I didn't wear it and then I did again. What I found, being the basic bitch that I am, is the white strap doesn't work for me. I loved how it looks, but the problem is I fake tan. Also, like, I get sweaty. We've already been through this. I would stain the shit out of my white band, whether it was my fake tanner or just all the residue and grime from getting gross and sweating and wearing it all the time. As much as I wanted a white band this time around, I decided to not do it. So I've got the black. To me, it's a little more like in your face, but it's still really beautiful. Love this gold hardware. The Whoop is doing a lot of different things. You wear it 24/7. You can take it off, but if you take it off, then you won't have data for the time that you didn't have it on. But it is fully waterproof, so you can wear it in the shower. If you are a swimmer, you can wear it swimming or in the hot tub or cold plunge or whatever the fuck thing you're doing. It has 3 specific focus points. So the first is sleep. This device is tracking your sleep, not only in terms of how long you sleep, but it is also tracking your REM and your deep sleep cycles. And it's tracking your sleep consistency, meaning do you go to bed and do you wake up consistently at the same times or roughly?
This is future Melissa, just popping in here to let you guys know that those screenshots are coming from the app that corresponds with the device. I neglected to talk about it here and just wanted to make sure you understood that you will use an app on your phone to review all of these stats whenever you want to look at them.
Believe it or not, even if you get 8 hours of sleep every night, but you do it at different times of the day every day, that can be disadvantageous to your overall recovery, which we'll get to here in a second. I stopped wearing my original Whoop in 2021 when I had Goldie, a few weeks after having her, because it just made me feel bad about myself. I knew I wasn't getting enough sleep, and all it did every single day was remind me that I wasn't getting enough sleep. It was fucking with my head, among other things, because of all the things that we talked about already as the parasitic host. And so I stopped wearing the Whoop for over a year. And I only started wearing it again in the last few weeks because, snaps for me, I am sleeping. I am feeling good. I have lost a good amount of weight so far. I still have more to go, but I'm ready to get back into tracking all of these different focus areas. The second thing it's tracking is what's called strain. There's a podcast hosted by the people who run Whoop, and all their analytics and data. And I remember listening to an episode where they talk about strain, and it's actually like a real system. It's a real scale or whatever that was created in some university setting. And the scale goes up to 21. I don't think anyone can hit a 21. Like, I don't think it happens. If it does, you might be dead as soon as you hit it. I don't think you're meant to hit 21, but a lot of like really, really elite athletes can get to like 20 and a half or maybe 20.7. 21 is not the goal. It's just a way of saying how hard has your body worked today? How much strain has it experienced? And that's usually very reflective of the cardiovascular work that your body has been through. For an example, when you do a workout, it will track your strain in that workout along with the calories that you burned and your maximum heart rate and your average heart heart rate. Heart rate is really what Whoop is using to determine strain, heart rate over, period of time. When I do my weight training sessions, they're usually 45 minutes to an hour, and it's really hard for me to get my strain in those sessions over like a 7. And even a 7 would be high for me. I'm more like between a 5 and a 6 usually. And that's for that specific workout. That's not for the whole day. However, when I do a 10-minute jog, and I'm really bad at running, by the way.
Bitch, don't run.
My strain will get to an 8, 9, no problem. I don't want to say it's rewarding cardiovascular work, but it is definitely more of a sign of how much cardiovascular effort you put in on the day than it is like how hard was your workout to you and your perceived effort or your muscle failure. So again, strain goes up to 21, but you're not trying to like hit 21. It's not like it's a target for the day. It's rather a full scale to show you how hard your body has worked that day. My average when I am working out is somewhere around like 9, maybe 9 to 11. If I've done like a couple of things, if I've gone on a hot long walk with Goldie and my heart rate gets up because it does, because I'm pulling a wagon, we have hills, like sometimes it does, and I've done a weight training workout, and I've been on my feet all day doing a million things at the house, like my strain could easily get to a 12 on days like that. But generally I would say it's like around a 9. Your strain is going to inform how much you need to sleep and also how well you can be recovered for the next day. That's the third focus area within the Whoop, which is recovery. I am not trying to be any type of elite or competitive athlete. I'm just trying to be a badass bitch and look good doing it. For me, recovery isn't necessarily that useful. I mean, I don't want to say like I ignore it altogether. I think it's a very interesting way to assess how different things in your life might be affecting you, especially like under the hood in ways that aren't outwardly obvious. For example, like if you go out to a party and you drink and you eat differently than you normally do, you're probably going to see that reflected in your recovery the next day. So that can be interesting. Like we all know we don't feel good when we have a hangover or whatever, but you may not understand how badly that's impacting you. As we talk about recovery, one of the massive factors for determining your recovery is your HRV, which is your heart rate variability. Not really good at explaining it, but from what I can remember, it has to do with like the time in between your heartbeats and how much that varies. You want heart rate variability to be high. You don't want it to be like low. And it's different and it's unique to each person. So what might be high for me might be low for you or vice versa. My HRV on average clocks in somewhere 90 to 100 or so. When it's below 90, that's considered a low HRV for me, which means I'm less recovered the next day. Recovery scale, like all the scales, the sleep, the strain, and the recovery, they all come in color-coded brackets. Red means shut the fuck up, stop, relax, just take a deep breath. Yellow is like, meh, dicey, but you could maybe. And then green is like, you go girl, you get your life, bitch. Those are the 3 components that your Whoop is tracking, but it's tracking all kinds of other shit, you guys. It's looking at your not blood oxygen, like your VO2 max or some shit. It obviously is tracking your heart rate in general. It's nice to know what your resting heart rate is. It's just a good indicator of like your health levels. And you can also use these metrics, by the way, to see how you're improving over time. Like, especially if you're doing something like I am, which is I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to focus on my fitness. I'm trying to focus on my overall wellness to see like, as I make changes, where is it having the greatest impact? For example, I know that a lot of people who stop drinking, when they stop drinking, they sleep so much better. But that might be only anecdotal. And so you're like, yeah, I'm sleeping better. But what you may not realize is like your heart rate variability is going up. Your resting heart rate's going down. You're actually getting more quality sleep. So I find that really interesting. Now, I will add here, depending on your personality type, too much data may not be a good thing. There was a time for me, I just didn't need to have the insight into my health metrics like this. It was doing more harm for me than it was good. Bear that in mind. If you happen to know about yourself that these types of things either make you spin out or lead you into unhealthy habits, then stay away from that. But for the rest of the population who, is interested in that kind of information with still maintaining healthy habits and healthy lifestyle, this can be super informative. So that's all about the functionality. Let me now talk about kind of the nuts and bolts and just like the practical stuff. Like, is it pretty? I mean, it's cute. It just blends in for me with my jewelry. These straps come in a million colorways, and then they also have like prints and patterns. I did the upgraded version of this band, and so I have the rose gold. They do also have it in yellow gold, but they have like a gunmetal-y color, I believe, too, but you will pay for that. So the way that the payment works for this is you don't actually have to pay for the device at all unless you do an upgraded strap like I did. In fact, you're just paying a monthly subscription. Okay, so I know you're like, oh, monthly subscription. Fuck, Netflix is already price gouging the shit out of me. I don't know if I can afford it. Gas is $8 a gallon. I also go to Trader Joe's. How am I supposed to do? I get it. You may not want it for that reason alone. Like, right? Like once you get an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or something, like it's done, it's over. But again, I think you get very different types of information. So it's all about your personal preference. The device is technically free with your membership. And the membership it depends on how you do it. Like if you pay monthly, I think it's like $30 a month. I'm actually going to leave a code below, which I believe should give you your first 30 days for free. So if you want to try it, and you can like send it back if you don't like it or whatever, but try it, get your first 30 days free. And then you set up the payment plan for whether you want to pay monthly. It's going to be the most expensive. You can pay upfront for, I think, 6 months, 12 months, even 2 years. The more you pay upfront for, the greater discount over time you get. Figure that shit out for yourself. This is not a financial planning podcast. This is not a financial planning video, okay? Go to somebody else for that. One thing you will never hear me talk about on this channel is how to be fiscally responsible. I'll teach you everything you need to know about being fiscally irresponsible. I'm very good at that. So you put this on here at your wrist, but you could also wear it like around your arm. I think they make different sizes and different bands for different parts of your body of where you might want to wear it, depending on like what kind of activities you do or just your general aesthetic and vibe. This is the charger. So this itself is the charger. This is the cord to charge your charger. I probably get a good 3 to 4 days of wear from the battery that when it's fully charged in my Whoop. But here's what's really fucking cool. When it's time to charge, you don't even have to take it off. It just slides right on. You can wear it while it charges, which is just cool. And it just slides on and off. Hold on. Like just pops off, slides off, and slides on. It's weird when you first get it. You're going to be like, how the fuck do I put this thing together? If you do want to ever take it off, it just unclasps like that away, and then you can take it off. This is a quick improv tutorial of how to put it together. They come with this little latch. You have to loop-de-loop, and then it latches onto this little part of the buckle. And then it just folds and snaps. Bend and snap. So there you go. That's the full overview of my Whoop. I am at a point now in my life where I'm getting so much more value out of wearing my Whoop than I did even before I had Goldie, I think, because I wasn't really doing anything other than just like working out and trying to eat less. I'm really trying to focus on things like repairing my gut health and gut-brain connection, which, the Whoop isn't able to track shit like that. But as I am doing things like including a probiotic in my diet, trying to eat more fermented foods, working on increasing my iron levels and B12 and all those different elements of, just basic minerals that your cells and mitochondria and shit need, I'm able to see how it's reflective of things like my HRV, my strain, my output, how well I'm sleeping. And I feel like it's telling me a really important story. All right, guys, that's it for me. I hope that was helpful. I hope that gives you some context into this cute little thing that's been on my wrist for the last few weeks. If you've got any other questions, let me know. Certainly leave them in the comments. You can also always find me on Instagram. I'm at CupcakesOMG. You can also find me on my blog, cupcakesomg.com. I will also be doing a companion blog post, like a write-up version of this to maybe go into a little more detail. While you're here, make sure you hit the like, say, hey girl, hey, I like it. And then the second thing you should do is you should subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't do anything except for subscribe you to my channel, but like that doesn't do anything to you except for notify you when I have new videos that come out, which doesn't do anything to you except for like enhance the value of your life overall, which doesn't do anything to you except for like you're gonna be a better person for it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.